Guys, welcome back. As promised, here is the video on how to move your calories around during the week to achieve either maintenance or fat loss, guys. I'm really excited for this video. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. As a disclaimer, remember, guys, that a lot of these numbers that I go for are just general guidelines. If you haven't calculated your calorie numbers that you need to either be at a maintenance level or a calorie deficit level, I highly recommend that you guys watch that video. I'll go ahead and post the link below for that. And always remember, guys, please consult your doctor before engaging in any nutritional plan or fitness regimen. Make sure you guys get the okay from your doctor to do so. Also, as a disclaimer, these numbers apply to most of the general population. And remember, I'm assuming that somebody that is watching this is free of disease. If you do have illness or a condition, a metabolic condition, please reach out to us. We definitely have plenty of registered dietitians on board that can help you guys with that. So don't be afraid of, thinking that you can't accomplish something just because you may have an underlying condition. But we do want to make sure that you guys understand that the numbers that I'm about to go over are for those of people that are free of disease, free of illness, meaning there's nothing that impairs your metabolism. Okay, and to kind of give you an example of what those conditions may imply, let's say you have hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, right, or diabetes type 1 or 2, or any illness that can affect your metabolism. Like I said, this may not apply to you. Also, the reason why the first number is important to know, the number of how many calories you need in each day, is because that number is very individual to each one of us, right? We don't all work out the same amount of time or for the same amount of length, right? We all have, different heights and different weights and different goals. So make sure you guys watch that video to make sure that you are being as precise as possible. The more precise you are, the less room for error there is, and the faster you will see results. Okay. All right, here we go. So let's say I've calculated my calorie intake for each day, and let's say I need about 2,000 calories per day in order to achieve my goal weight or my goal body fat percentage. Okay. So now I'm going to multiply this number by 7 because there are 7 days of the week, and I get 14,000 calories as my budget for that week. Now, remember, guys, there's nothing that says that you can't move these numbers around differently each day. The science behind this says as long as you stay within your calorie budget, you will achieve your goal. Okay. So that's very important to understand. And here's why. Let's say you use your Chronometer or your MyFitnessPal or whatever kind of app you're using or whatever way you're using to track your calories on a daily basis, right? And you find out that on Saturday, okay, you consume, let me go here, let's say you consume 2,800 calories, okay? And then on Sunday, you consume 2,300 calories, okay? All right, now, once again, guys, don't be afraid of calories. Remember that calories are neither good nor bad, right? They're just a unit of measurement for the energy in food. This is something that I highly, highly stress to my clients, right? Just like we measure distance in miles, we measure the energy in food in calories, okay? So I know some of us may be afraid of the calories that we've eaten in the past, or, maybe in the beginning when you were younger, you obsessed about the calories that you were eating or something like that. There's a way to have a healthy relationship with this number. So, and that's something that we highlight here at Verus Wellness. So if you have any questions, please don't feel afraid to reach out. We would love to answer any and all questions. Okay. So I'm going to now add this number. So like, let's say, once again, I went into my Chronometer, and let me show you guys just an example. I tracked a hypothetical, maybe, a theoretical weekend date. And let's say I notice that I'm consuming around 2,500 calories on some days, 2,800 calories on some days. So that's how I came up with that number, right? So now let's say, once again, let's say I actually consume around 2,800 and I round it up to these numbers, right? I'm going to go ahead and add these numbers, okay, Saturday plus Sunday. Okay, in order to find out how much calories or how many calories I'm actually consuming throughout the week. And remember, don't be afraid to be honest with yourselves. We as human beings, we all have the tendency, you, me, and everybody, I kid you not, okay? We all have the tendency to think we consume less calories than what we actually do, okay? And that's not because we're bad or we're ashamed of what we're eating or anything like that. Is that our body, the human body, was made to try to survive. So we do that in order, we overconsume food because our bodies that sometimes, don't know that there's food in the fridge, right? Our bodies will always, think that you need more and more. And that's why a lot of the times we think we consume less calories than what we actually do. Okay. So remember, try to track your calories as precise as possible. And this gives you an actual and realistic view of where you guys are in terms of your consumption, right? There's nothing wrong of over consuming calories, right? We just want to make sure we're not doing it on a daily basis because that leads to weight gain, specifically fat gain. Okay. So now let's say I added these numbers up, right? And these numbers lead to me consuming around 5,100 calories on the weekend. Okay, so I'm gonna put weekend. Okay. I'm going to take this number and I'm going to subtract it from my 14,000 calorie budget. Okay, and that's gonna let me to find out that I have left 8,900 calories to divide between Monday through Friday. Okay. So why 5 days, Monday through Fridays? Because there are 7 days of the week, right? Saturday and Sunday, I took away 2, and that's how I get 5. So I'm going to take this 8,900 calorie number and divide it by 5. And I get 1,780 calories, right? So now when you set up your chronometer or your MyFitnessPal or whatever app you're using, you're going to want to make sure that the calories that you set as your goal are going to be that 1,700 calorie number. Okay. Now you might have noticed that I wrote, what about Friday, right? Sometimes some of us also include Friday nights are fun meals, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We just have to be very honest in terms of how many fun meals we're actually consuming to make sure that we can work our way around that, right? So now, let's say on Friday, I track my calories, right? And I find out that I'm consuming let's say that 2,500 calorie numbers that you guys saw earlier, okay? So now let's do a little bit of math, okay? So now let's say we know that on Friday, we're consuming 2,500 calories on Friday. On Saturday, we said we're consuming 2,800. And on Sunday, we find out that we're consuming 2,300. Okay. Now, here is where there is such thing as eating too few calories during the week. And I'm going to show you a really good example of how people kind of get stuck in this fat loss or weight maintenance process, right? A lot of the times they don't take this into consideration. And this is why oftentimes they start not seeing the results that they want. Okay. Remember, there is such thing, like I said, is such thing as eating too few calories. For women, I would never recommend that they eat less than 1,200 calories. For men, I would never recommend that they eat less than 1,600 calories, because medically speaking, it has been shown that underneath those numbers, a lot of things can go wrong inside of your body, right? So we want to make sure that we're approaching our goals in a healthy way, okay? So now when I add up these numbers, I get 7,600. Okay. So now here's where a lot of people kind of get stuck in, and you might be nodding and be like, yes, Carla, that has happened to me in the past. Don't worry. Okay. I got you. Okay. So here, let's do another little bit of math. So I'm going to take this 7,600 calorie number, and I'm going to subtract it once again from my 14,000 calorie budget. Okay. So when I do that, I get 6,400 calories left for my Monday through Thursday, right? Remember, I've allotted for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I still have Monday through Thursday. Okay. So when I do that, I'm gonna divide this 6,400 calorie number by 4 in order to account for 4 of those days out of the week, right? So let's say this brings you down to 1,600 calories left for those days. So now let's say you try to consume 1,600 calories on Monday, and you are like, oh no, I am way too hungry. I'm way too hungry. This is too few calories, right? I would caution to don't try to push yourself and achieve this, right? Because if it feels like it's too little, and the way that you find out it's too few calories is that by the end of the day, you're still hungry, right? You're looking for food, right? This is going to come and bite you in the butt, right? If you try to stick to these calories, because By Thursday, you're going to be so ravenous, right, that you're going to want to overconsume food. And this can get you in a binging cycle, right? Not because you're bad, not because you're not disciplined, or, because you just don't have what it takes. It's because biologically speaking, there are hormones that get secreted by your brain and other organs that regulate hunger and appetite, right? So if your body's feeling too hungry, these hormones are going to want to induce binging. And once again, you're now fighting biology. It's not that you are bad or you are not, don't have self-control, right? So because we don't want to put our bodies in a state where we have secreted these hormones and biologically essentially induce binging, right? This is where I caution you to make sure that you never go below that number that's comfortable for you, right? And once again, this number is very individual to each one of us, because once again, we don't all work out the same numbers, number of days or amount of hours during the week. So I would really, really, really caution you to not eat below this number, right? Find out what this number is. Once again, the best way to do that is by calculating what your daily number should be, okay? And that way you know how many calories you can actually tolerate. So let's say, once again, this is too few. How do I do this? Okay, there's actually a lot of different ways, right? So let's say we know that the biggest factor here is this number. This number needs to be a little bit lower, right? So I will recommend that you bring down the calories of one of these days, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, right? Remember that Friday may look a little differently because you may still be at work, right? And it's just that afternoon meal that you are going to be higher in calories. So out of the three, I would say this one is going to be probably the one that's going to be easier to bring down. Okay, in the videos to come, I'm going to show you how to bring that number. But let's say instead of that number being 2,500, I can get it down to 2,200. Okay, and it can totally be done by the way. So let's say we add this number to the 2,800 because I still want to have fun on my Saturdays. I don't want to give that up because I'm being honest with myself, right? It's not because I don't want to be out because I'm stubborn, because maybe you might be at the beginning of your journey and you're honest with yourself about what you can accomplish as of right now. That is, in my opinion, one of the key steps to make sure that you succeed is to be honest with yourself about what you can do right now. Remember, baby steps are permanent steps. So make sure you guys don't try to go for this big goal and then feel bad for not being able to achieve it, right? Okay, so when we do this and when we add this, we get, I know my math people are like, really, Carla? You're taking your time adding it? Yes, because I want to make sure that the people that are watching it that may need to use a calculator or something like that or have enough time to do so. Okay, so 7,300 calories, right? So once again, we're going to take this, essentially just adding an extra, 300 calories to the rest of your day. But you're dividing it by those calories, right? Now we're gonna do 7,300, okay? And that's gonna give me 6,700 calories. And we said we're going to take this number and divide it by the 4 days of the week, okay? And now I get 1,675, and that might be a better number. Those extra 75 calories could be, a little bit more doable for you, right? So once again, this is how you would allot for this number, right? Like I said, I will focus on the weeks to come. I'm going to make another video on how to tinker with this Friday, right? Because it's actually there's a lot you can do to track each day of the week. But essentially, whatever number you come down to for a Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday day, that's what you would want to input in your chronometer number as your goal, and then track each day and try to stay at that number. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope this helped, guys. Go ahead and leave comments below. Any questions, we would love to answer. Remember, guys, this is your channel. Everything that we do in social media is to help you guys. So any questions that you have, please let us know. This is actually the basis for our videos, is that we really cater to what you guys have questions on. We're just here to help you guys, and you guys really dictate the content that we put out. So shout out to the people that asked me on how to move your calories around the week. This video is for you. Thank you guys so much for asking those kind of questions, because it helps us serve you guys better. Have a wonderful day, guys. And once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the video.